to advance community safety. The question that's been running through my mind is how America's vast and quite unique problem of gun violence complicates the problem of police-civilian relations. We've lost more than 1.5 million of our citizens since 1968 to gun violence. The rates of gun violence in America are 25 times higher than 22 other wealthy countries on average. So this must be a very serious problem in terms of community civil relations, and I wonder if you would opine on that.
Sadly, there's not as much good research on exactly that question as there should be. But I can tell you the things that we know both from the science and from mine and CPE's exposure to law enforcement, which is, of course, it has a huge impact on it. If you look at Chief Art Acevedo in Houston, who every time there is a shooting understands that his officers are going out to a place where you can't escalate by simply putting hands on somebody because they might be armed, right? But I think one of the elements that we're not talking about nearly enough is that just as much as gun violence shooting other people, homicides, makes the job of law enforcement infinitely more dangerous, it's suicides that are responsible for a larger proportion of lost officer lives. Right? So we have to go back to officer wellness to talk about it. So both as they're going out on the jobs and then as they're having to metabolize it and live with it at home, the availability of guns and gun violence are epidemic, not just on the streets, but in the private homes of law enforcement as well.
Thank you. Can I ask one yes or no question? Okay, and I think this is for Chief Davis. You mentioned the problem of white supremacists entering police forces, and we've certainly heard reports of that. Do you have any research suggesting that this is actually a conscious strategy by white supremacist groups to send people in to local police forces?
No, sir, just anecdotes at this time.